So TikTok, I think, has done two things. It's been positive and it's been negative. I'm going to start with the positive and say that it's allowed me to talk about my lived experience freely. There's been no restraints. When I've worked in government, there's always been a sort of, yes, we want lived experience, but you can't talk about certain things. For me, this is free. It's a free platform for me to reach out to people, and in turn, I've had people come back at me. Hey, I need help. Hey, I've been through that. It's fantastic that you're talking about it. So yes, it's been phenomenal for that. Plus, I've been able to network with a lot of people, and it's just been awesome. But what I did notice, unfortunately, and this is really, really, really been one that I'm still till now I'm trying to tackle, is that sometimes I get stuck in the illusion of that being my reality. And I don't know how to separate the two. So for me, I've sort of questioned my mental state. Is this real? Am I paranoid? Am I delusional? What? I don't know the difference anymore, because they do intertwine. I've noticed that at times I've been depressed for no reason. And also someone who has had an addiction. In my past, I was addicted to drugs and alcohol, and drugs and gambling. And especially with the gambling, it mimics a lot of the same things. So for me, you start to feel like you're going down that road again. You don't want to be on there, but you can't help yourself. You need to be on there. And so I've struggled with that a lot mentally. So my resilience, I think, has been tested, definitely. So I've seen all sorts of cyberbullying. I've seen it come from anything as such as name calling. I've seen things like exposing. Exposing, I think, is the biggest one, where people who choose not to reveal their identities have had their identities put on display without any consent, without any privacy. And, you go to report those things and it goes unheard. It falls on deaf ears. But then you've got groups of people who mass report for a living, and bada bing, bada boom, you get banned. I don't think TikTok are doing much about it, if I'm really blatantly honest with you. I don't think it's being taken seriously. And there's definitely needs to be taken seriously now. It's affected a lot of people's mental state to the degree where people have actually questioned taking their own lives. I've seen that with my own eyes. I've had to talk to a few people who were considering it after, being cyberbullied. For myself, I did say that I have a history of gambling. Luckily for me, I'm not a big gifter for a reason. And that is because what I've noticed is every time someone hits that gift, and you've got a lot of big gifters on there, right? They gift these top 10 or, people on the podium. And a lot of those people, when I've asked them, I remember one bloke I asked, he said, it's a rush. It's like an adrenaline rush. And the moment he said that, I thought, I remember that dopamine rush I used to get when I used to hit the button for the machine. So I've noticed a lot of similarities there, except the only difference is you're not getting anything in return. You're wasting your money on a person who's sitting in front of a screen for nothing. I myself have been in battles and have been on rankings. Not for long, I was on Rising Stars. And I began to feel that rush as the receiver. And I thought, wow, this is incredible. I can make a little bit of coin, and, it was worrying. I thought, am I going to spiral back down that road? But I've definitely seen that. And on the other part, it's addictive in terms of the drama. So whenever something erupts, you want to know what happens the next day or the day after. It's like a soap opera. It's definitely very different to any other social media that I've ever been on. And, with Instagram, it's shopping. You get a shopping addiction, but how long can you shop for? With this, you're interacting with people. You're also gifting. Think of it as being in a pub with a bunch of people who are brawling, and at the same time, they're gambling. And that's the way I view it. And unfortunately, I'm still a victim of it. TikTok has affected my life in a negative way, in the sense of, I know that I've already stated that obviously it's impacted my mental health. It's brought me back to a lot of, the addictions that I did have in the past. But one thing I'll tell you right now, and I hate to admit it, it's affected my family life. The amount of time you consume on TikTok, I've lost a lot of time. It's distanced me from my family. It's broken up. Well, it didn't break up a marriage. Marriage was already broken, but it was part of the reason why the marriage was breaking up. Thankfully, that's being repaired. It's not easy to say, but it does consume your entire life. As much as people don't want to admit it, it does. And a lot of people that do get on there have existing issues in their personal life. So they go on there thinking that it's going to be a fix. And that's why I went on there. Not just to talk about mental health and lived experience, but also to fill the void that I didn't have in my real life. And it hasn't done that. If anything, it's made the gap a lot bigger. I think what TikTok can do to tackle mental health issues and I guess address it better, not just TikTok, I think every social media platform should implement some kind of safeguard or some kind of policy or have delegated moderators that are mental health trained. So we've got mental health first aid and it's something I actually in the sort of now and I'm sort of trying to work around is how we can get TikTok and other platforms to get these moderators who are specifically mental health aid trained to be on there, to be available for people who need it, whatever it is, and they will have the tools and resources to be able to refer those people to other different places, whether that's the mental health line, whether that's to see a counsellor or whatever it is. Those people I think will make the biggest impact. When you've got someone sitting on a screen talking about taking their own life, regardless of whether it's a joke or not, you got to look at it and go, if I was mental health aid trained, I'd be saying to this person, hey, I've got these resources, why don't you give them a call, we can do it together. It just something as little as that doesn't cost much. You'll even have people who will voluntarily do it. And like I said, I don't think it's just TikTok. I think it's every single social media platform we've got. We've got kids, we've got adults that desperately, desperately need it. And if they've just got that one person that they can speak to, that's going to make a world of a difference. Is TikTok worth it at the end of the day? I'm going to say, look, there's obviously two sides to the narrative, yeah? There's been positive and there's been negative. Is it worth losing time and losing a family over? No, I don't think so. But sometimes at the same time, you've got to take risks to be able to do something for the greater good, right? I've networked with a lot of fabulous people. I've met a lot of fabulous people on this journey. And that's somewhat why I'm staying. But in the long run, definitely not. Time is the most valuable thing that you'll ever have and you'll never get that back. And TikTok's taken a lot of that from me.